basically 5:40 p.m. Pacific, 8:40 p.m. Eastern, Monday, Wednesdays, and that'll be Layla and Martin taking you through a little more about the narrative of our experience.
Yeah, and if you haven't been here before, Silent Hill Ascension is a socially interactive streaming series where all of you collectively shape and experience its evolving story. Collaborate and compete with others to try and make the choices that you want. When each decision ends, that choice locks in as canon, and that is the version of the show everyone sees. A canon story shaped by you, the participating audience, every day. And I believe we have a video today. If production will throw it up, Toby is continuing to try to leave town when Joy appears to make him have second thoughts about Rachel's recruitment efforts.
No, not here, Joy. Please, just let me leave.
I was like you when I first came here. Desperate. They used me, Toby. Broke me. But now, you can make things right. Make them trust you. Think you really believe. And then, you break them. It has to be done. They've hurt too many people, Toby.
I'll make everything right, Joy. I promise. I'll make them...
Toby? Did you want to come in?
And welcome back to us, everybody. We hope you enjoyed that. Eduardo, what'd you think?
Well, one of the big things, right? A lot of the scene's focus is between Toby and Joy. I mean, as it rightfully should be. But for me, the striking moment in that video really is the very end where Krista's just at the door, ready to welcome in. Well, we don't use cults, right, Layla? That's...
No. We are a pyramid-shaped self-improvement scheme.
Exactly. That's why Krista's calm and collected about it.
Absolutely. Yeah, listen, I am constantly, I constantly feel, I think, some level of pity for Toby for where he keeps encountering Joy. Just because it's never in a place you want to be encountering her. But hey, would you like to actually take us, speaking of encountering Joy, through the story so far for Pennsylvania?
Absolutely, it'd be my pleasure, Layla. So that's going to be up on your screen, the story so far in Pennsylvania. If you're coming back after a little bit of a break, this will get you right back up at it. So as we wait for that to go on screen from our production team, the story so far in Pennsylvania. With help from his dealer, Rachel's going to find Toby and attempts to recruit him into the Foundation. That was a key scene with actually a member of our audience doing kind of a cameo appearance there. Then Toby is continuing to try to leave town, and that was the scene you just saw. Joy tries to get him sick and thoughts, and then somebody's waiting at the door. Last thing, this is actually a scene from yesterday. Eric's continued friendship and sympathy for Toby causes new tensions to rise within his marriage. That was a scene that played out yesterday where you essentially see Eric and Rachel having a conversation.
Yeah, this is a very unhappy triangle, right? In the sense that, like, Eric is being pulled between Toby and Rachel. Rachel is being pulled between Eric and the Foundation. And Toby just wants to get out of the triangle, but it keeps pulling him back in, Eduardo.
No, I mean, yeah, like, Toby is, like, finally decided, you know what? I got enough. I got to get out of here. Yeah, not that easy, it turns out. When everything and everyone that's connected to you, everyone that you love is in an organization, it's hard to extirpate yourself because essentially what would Toby do? Just basically be on his own. Like, I mean, leaving town basically means saying bye to everything.
Yeah, the emotional equivalent of like tying a little sack on a stick and hauling it over your shoulder and, marching along your merry way. God, not only can he not seem to leave physically, but like you said, leaving Eric. That's one of his only friendships, or so far his only friendship, actually, that we've seen on screen aside from his dealer. And then Joy, who has passed and chooses violence at every appearance, right? She simply, or whatever idea of her is left, simply won't let him leave because there's revenge to be had.
No, of course. I mean, Joy is dead, right? So that, I mean, do you really want to be left alone with whatever this is? Essentially, I mean, I'm not sure I would. And you're right about, like, basically his only friend being Eric. And one of the key scenes at the start of Silent Hill Ascension was essentially Toby punching Eric. I mean, justifiably so, given that Eric gave him a pamphlet about the Foundation.
Yeah, receiving a prayer from a pyramid-shaped self-improvement group is not exactly the response you want to your sister's death, especially not when your sister. I mean, we all saw her like die, right? There is no doubt in anyone's minds that Joy went out in a pretty unfortunate way, but she doesn't seem to want to leave her brother alone. So not the best choice there, Eric or Rachel, whose idea I guess it technically was. But hey, enough about Pennsylvania. We got a whole other country to talk about. Eduardo, what's going on in Norway?
Of course. So Norway, again, our story's taking place in two key locations, right? Pennsylvania and Norway. So here you can see that on your screen. Essentially here, in an effort to connect with her son, Astrid gives Orson a new doll. That ended up being actually a pretty close audience decision. I believe at the end, the Hunter doll was the one that was given here. The Grandma doll being the least popular, and the Scientist doll being close. Now, Astrid is going to returns to the farm to find her aunt Mette cozying up to her father. I know Layla and Noah had a delightful chat about that last Monday, essentially loving the telenovela side of the drama. But you know, at the end, Carl essentially chats in the Ice Hotel with Mette about the situation. It's actually one of the decisions that's going to close today. And finally, Carl and Eva search the woods for the evil terrorizing his farm. One of the things that's been key about the scenes that recently played out is that Carl is, you know, something's going around in the farm, and Carl's trying to get to the bottom of it.
Right. And I did just want to, just out of sheer curiosity, I went to check if the trade or not was close. And no, it wasn't at all. It was a 74-26 split to Trevor. Because clearly whatever's going on that farm, aside from, as Noah and I did have a delightful time with the scandalo of things, whatever else is happening on that farm is unpleasant, and nobody wants poor Carl and Eva to be defenseless about it. So.
No, I mean that's a key thing, right? And but like that's one of the key themes, right? Is we're starting to see in Norway this picture of, you know, first week was the matriarch Ingrid, second week was really about Astrid and her relationship with kind of the matriarch, but more about her son. And now we're getting back to kind of Carl trying, you know, his way of protecting the family, you know, and it's a little different than the others. And one of the key things here is there seems to be around that Johansson family a lot of tension. I mean, the audience decided that Astrid shouldn't trust the police very decisively once Ingrid's body disappeared. And that makes a lot of sense to me, honestly. I think the audience did a really good pick there, frankly. But Layla, that's the thing for me. It's what's going on with this family. I mean, things are building up where we're going to, I think that's a very key part of the tension here.
Yeah, we've got mischief on the farm, right? We don't quite know what the mischief is. We've got a missing body. We've got a death in the family. Tensions are definitely building, and I am quite excited to see the audience choices that are accompanying that, right? There's a lot of really great decisions not only being made currently but coming up. I know, again, we had a lot of fun with the scandal of, you know, Mette and she'll sleep and all, but you know, we have a current decision about the way in which Carl will protect his family from, again, whatever is going on. It's currently unclear. So yeah, I'm excited to see where things go from here. Now, Eduardo, would you mind talking to us a little bit more, since we're talking about the story, about the results of that story, which is our fate? Of
course, that'd be my pleasure. So a lot of you in the audience probably are aware to some degree about our Fate and Hope system. So this is going to be a little bit of a reminder, and a reminder to start paying a lot closer attention as our story's tension is increasing here. So decisions, endurance scenes, and puzzles, mindfulness ones, all contribute to wherever the characters will face redemption, suffering, or damnation in the Silent Hill Ascension's finale. Now, their fate is decided across the length of the season. The hope is a bit different. The hope, it needs to be high enough for them to survive a crucial story moment. The big difference between those two, fate is what you as an audience are deciding, and hope is what you as an audience are taking action on. Those two together are going to be critical to finally determine what actually ends up in our story in Silent Hill Ascension.
Correct. And it looks like, so there are fate decisions and there are not fate decisions. And in terms of, I know we're actually about to check in on what's currently being decided on. So if you haven't if you haven't made the decision for yourself yet, now's a pretty good time to go do that before we check in on it. But there are, I think both of the ones, the one in Norway is a fate decision. So this is your opportunity to influence how do I put this? Not emotional, but what sort of route Carl's story will take, for example, right? We have redemption, suffering, damnation. Now in the past, Eduardo, redemption and damnation have been quite neck and neck, but I'm seeing Team Suffering really come together in these last couple of weeks.
Right. One of the things, right, is like, week one, everybody's getting used to the experience. They're all like kind of going like, I wanted a good ending, right? It's kind of like how it works. You want to redeem. Week two comes around. It's like, this is a horror show. We need to get some of that, some of this Molotov cocktail in there. That's exactly what we need. We need things to escalate a little bit, damnation all the way. And now I think the audience is finally coming to grips with, you know what? I just want a good show. Let's just go with the option that just makes me the happiest. That's why I think that Astrid decision ended up the way it did. That's why I think the Grandma doll wasn't popular. It's like the audience is, I believe it is, starting to do like the decision they fundamentally just want, regardless of the outcome. I'm loving to see it. I love seeing how close damnation and suffering are currently. I'm actually going to check the app because I checked just before and it was very close. This for me is the best way to do it. Anyways, I'm gonna check it.
I totally have it open. That's why I keep looking over here. I have it open and I keep referencing the numbers. Dweeb in me keeps coming over here to reference the numbers.
Yeah. No, so the decision that's closing today, right? What will Carl use to protect his family? A fate decision. So cameras to catch the vandals, redemption, runes to ward off evil, suffering, wolf traps to stop wild animals, damnation. Now, I don't want to spend too much time on the damnation option because 9% of the votes probably not getting there in the next 10-ish minutes. Probably not. But that cameras or runes is very close with the suffering option actually pulling ahead. So right now the audience deciding to stick with runes to ward off evil, but it's really close. So again, if you as an audience decide that you want the redemption option here to take part, the cameras to catch vandals, like you can make a last second push and get there. Currently, Carl's fate is actually, you can see this by the way during the decisions. If you look just above the decisions, there's also like Carl's current fate will be placed there. And right now it's on damnation.
Yikes! Not a good time to be Carl. And actually, as you were talking about the decision, I did see it. Oh, there was a rally on the suffering option. Now there's a rally on the redemption option. So it really is going to go back and forth right up until showtime, which is my favorite kind of decision, right? I love when because like just to kind of lift the hosted show curtain a little bit for our dear audience, we do genuinely sit here and like watch the so I'm excited to see what'll happen, even though I won't have you for the post show.
No, that's true, right? I'm gonna eclipse myself, let you have a lovely time with the audience and Martin, so I'll be part of the audience watching from the shadows, essentially. But the big thing here with that decision, right, is you'll notice that it doesn't stop as we lift the curtain onto our show at exactly 6. It actually goes a bit deeper because what happens is we give you every last second of possibility until the scene plays out, until the moment where it becomes relevant. You get to see it. When you look at it live, there's actually a notice that tells you you're seeing this because the community chose this. When you look at the episodes, the choice is canon. So you just kind of catch up. As far as they're concerned, it's a horror show. You see what happened. But as you're seeing live, you get to see what the audience pick is. And I think that's really exciting. That's a big reason why we like watching it live.
Yeah, for sure. And I know we've had some very fun vocal reactions back here too while the scene's playing. I think especially the Molotov cocktail one was a good time for us. We did cheer while we were watching.
Oh, me, like, that was great.
Oh, my good man, Toby. But hey, as we just mentioned, Eduardo, you will not be returning to see me in the post show because I will be interviewing creative director Martin Montgomery, which will be a great time. Martin and I have been seeing a lot of each other this week, so we are ready to just keep the good times rolling. And it is almost time for the show. So Eduardo, back to you for production for the endurance scene.
Yeah, so our lovely production team, as you can see on your screen, a video starting to play. That's essentially what you're going to experience right after our scenes. You're going to be able to interact directly onto the experience. One of our main story characters enter the room only to come face to face with a snarler. Now, it's a dog-like monster that feeds on human flesh, so I don't think it's a boy you should pet. Other people in the development team disagree. I go with probably don't pet the dog with the extremely long tongue. Anyways, the character needs to avoid the snarler and escape, actually plural snarlers, avoiding obstacles thanks to the inputs from you, the audience. Now, Layla, endurance scenes, again, we hinted a bit when discussing Fatal, but they play a much larger part than just kind of action sequence, so to speak.
Correct. Yeah, we did touch on them for Fate and Hope. I believe the hope part here, right, is pretty critical. So once the endurance scenes are over, if a character fails enough of them, the problem is that they might not survive future encounters, which will or could lead to permanent deaths in the story. You can either watch or take active part. The choice is absolutely yours. And these endurance scenes are one of the best places to earn a large amount of influence points. So remember, success or failure is part of the collective story and not an individual judgment. Yeah, I think we've seen a lot of successes, right? Folks seem to be getting used to the cadence of it, which is pretty good. You can actually see in the immediate results of how you did once the card comes up at the end of each adventure. At the end of each Endure stream. I cannot speak today, Eduardo, clearly.
It's all good. So for our audience, we used to call these adventures, and during development, they ended up being endurance scenes as they are now. You get a little bit of a glimpse to that just before our show. Again, endurance scenes got a lot of feedback, so we did develop. But we are minutes away, so Layla's going to recap what we've been through just before the show goes live in a little bit under 2 minutes.
Absolutely. So in terms of, actually, let's spice it up. Let's start with Norway this time. In terms of Norway, we've got a lot going on in terms of mischief on the farm. We're not sure if it's vandals or a creature or what. Eva's now learned how to shoot. There is some tension, let's say, between Astrid and Haugen, who is not handling Ingrid's case in the most efficient way, I would say. And then in terms of Pennsylvania, it seems like Toby's getting sucked deeper and deeper into the story of the Foundation that cannot seem to let it go. And Rachel and Eric are, once again, there's tension between them also, again, caused by the Foundation. Who knew that a self-improvement group could cause this much drama? After the show, you guys can come back and see me interviewing Martin Montgomery, who's our creative director. And I believe, Eduardo, it's time for you to say goodbye.
Yep, I'm going to say bye to you, the audience. I will be back in the future, just not right after the show. I'm going to go and take my seat alongside all of you. It's going to be a delight.
We'll see you all back here after the show. Please enjoy, and it's time for us to go.